Hi, welcome to Love Saranghae with Peter and Andrea. In the next 30 minutes, we'll take you on a journey into the exciting world of entrepreneurship, relationships, and the secrets behind achieving that coveted glow. Are you ready? Let's go.
Welcome back to another episode of Love Saranghae with us, Peter and Andrea. Today's guests are a definition of a modern-day powerhouse couple. Amanda is a serial entrepreneur, two-time best-selling author, and the founder of Grind Social Media, a full-service agency helping businesses turn their content into conversion.
Both.
We'll go with that. It can be both. Phil is an award-winning creative director who's taken his years of big agency experience and channeled it into no-fluff strategy for entrepreneurs who want marketing that actually works. Together, they're not only building a wildly successful business, they're building a life on their own terms. Every summer, Amanda and Phil pack up their family and head to Portugal for 3 months. I know she wishes it was more. Where they live, work, and soak in the joy of a life they designed intentionally. In this episode, we're going to talk about what it's really like to build a business with a partner, how to balance ambition with freedom, and what finally pushed them to stop dreaming about the life they wanted and start living it. This is for anyone who's ever asked themselves, can I really have it all? The answer might surprise you. Welcome, guys.
Hey, and before we start, let the audience know that this will be a discussion between Andrea and Amanda. Phil and I will just add color commentary.
It's so funny.
This is also a lesson in life, guys.
Yeah. Okay, Andrea, take it away.
It's like happy wife, happy life.
Exactly. And as the years go by, I feel like we understand that phrase more and more. So let's take it back to the beginning. Let's get started. What sparked the idea? I have to know this. The most important thing for me, because I really want to do this too. But what sparked the idea of the summers in Portugal? And what finally pushed you to stop thinking about it and actually do it?
I mean, how much time do we have? No. So I'll start since I'm the one who's actually Portuguese and has the connection to the country. So basically, I spent my summers growing up in Portugal. So my parents also took me out of school early and we would spend our time at the beach. At the time, we didn't have the home that we have now. We actually had a home about 20 minutes inland and there was no highway. So it was actually an hour. And so I was always like amazed that it would be like my mom and my aunt and me and my 5 cousins. So 3 boys and 2 girls, me and my sister. And they would go before their husbands because my dad and my uncle were contractors. So they had to like come a little bit later. And I always found it pretty amazing, especially as I grew up, that my mom and my aunt would just travel with 5 kids, just the 2 of them. My grandparents were already there. Chaos. And they would, by the time my dad and my uncle got there and my grandparents, we literally rented this like imagine a bus, like it was like a bus, like a massive van. And because there was no highway at the time, we had to actually travel to the beach every single day. It took over an hour. Wow. And on the way home, it could take up to 3 hours to get home because the traffic was just one line. Like lane out. Like there was only one way out of the beach. So obviously fast forward like 20 years more than like at that time, we have a highway. So we can like travel between my grandparents' house and our beach home. So I lived growing up very chaotically at the beach, right? Like they're working. Your parents are like, just go play over there. Like, don't get lost. I was in charge of all the kids. It was like, make sure, like, so like everybody's always laughing because I'm always counting heads. And I'm like, I've been doing this since I was like 6, like counting all my cousins, making sure. So it was a really beautiful experience. We traveled a lot and I got to see a different culture, like my culture from a different perspective living there, right? It's different. Like growing up in Toronto, Portuguese, surrounded by family. But when you're actually living in the culture itself, like in the country, you have a different perspective on life. And really where we are in the north of Portugal, like it's not that north, an hour north of Lisbon, it's a beach town. It's a surf town. So like I try to explain this to people, I'm like, until you get there, you don't understand it. But like service is so slow. And it's
this is Europe in general.
Yeah,
though.
it is. But like, it's very annoying when you come from Toronto and you're like,
Yes.
okay, I've got to like switch my brain, right? And everybody's like barefoot, literally in the middle of the street, just carrying surfboards. And it's very cool. And like, everybody's looking out for one another. It's a very like positive place. So when me and Phil when we were actually dating, this is a funny story. So when we first got together, I said, no, do you remember this? We actually did this. I did this episode with our old like therapist, actually. So I was explaining that when I met Phil, you know, obviously like I had lost my mom. I had a very like clear vision in my head of how I wanted my life to be. And my partner had to be what I wanted. I was not going to settle.
It was like,
it was like a litmus test. I was like, I don't want to have kids early. I want to build a career. I want to focus on that. I may not have kids, but if I have kids, it'll be 10 years after we get like married. And I want to live in Portugal, whether it's our summers with our children. I want to travel. This is the life I want. It's not what we have now. We're going to have to work really hard. Like, so if you're into that, like, then we can continue this. And if we're not, then we can just stay friends. Do you remember that?
wow.
Yeah.
I really want to hear what Phil had to say
So
about
now
that.
Phil can go from there.
Was there a contract? Was there like a written paper? Like, okay, read terms and conditions, sign off.
No contract. But I mean, in your 20s, if someone's like, hey, I want to wait 10 years to have kids and also travel a lot, I mean, that's kind of a no-brainer.
Yeah, sounds good.
It was an easy yes.
Yeah,
Okay,
so then I
that
guess
was good. So that was a line for the two of you.
Yeah, so I guess then
how did you get from that 20 something where you needed to build something in order to be able to afford that life and shit? Like, how did it all happen?
I guess the question I'm curious about is it was there, like, you know, in the course of, let's say, 10 years of building, living, somewhere in there it sparked, or has, you know, as soon as you were able to do it, you just went ahead and do it? Like, was there a triggering moment when you said, this is the year we're going to do it, this is the year we're going to turn everything around? Or was it just a natural progression?
So I don't know. Like, I mean, we backpack a lot. Like, we would always take off for 2 to 3 months at a time anyways. Like, when we were even with other businesses, like, we traveled at least 3 to 4 times a year. Like, that was always in our blood. So, and in our relationship, like, we built it in. But yeah, there was a moment. Phil didn't know that I decided. And then he just was part of that decision.
By the way,
But I can completely appreciate
like, what are these
that,
plane
because there's a lot of
tickets?
decisions I've made without you to know.
So listen, I'm going to let Phil take this part on because like I saw it from a different perspective. So I want to hear him actually tell this part of the story because he was very much like, you're insane. So go.
Yeah, so I will get very specific for you. So 2021, that's really when it turned into something that's now ended up, this will be our 4th summer. So it was really like, you know, coming out of the pandemic, feeling trapped, Amanda having all this like, you know, pent up experience of like, I need to travel. I'm feeling the same way. And she's like, so we're going to go live in Portugal this summer and we got plane tickets. So this is when we leave. And here I am in, you know, my corporate role at the time. Boy, I'd love that, but I have no idea how this is going to work. So my mindset I was just not in a place to like figure out how that's going to happen. We did. We just kind of like started asking the right questions, seeing what was possible. You know, the world was in a really unique state at the time and I was working remotely anyways. So I just made some firm commitments on where I needed to be and when. I'm so happy we did because it set the standard for our family and for what we wanted in the future. And now everything's possible, really. Like it really changed my frame of reference. Yeah, it was pretty powerful. Nervous all the way through at the start, but now on the other side of it, I'm like, yeah, just commit to it. Let's go. There'll be no problems. We'll figure it out.
Let's figure it out.
And that's something that Amanda's always done very fearlessly, just diving in head first. Or building her parachute, as she calls it.
I love that. Amanda, can you explain that a little bit more? I love that. No,
So my whole thing is like feel the fear and do it anyway. It's like on my laptop screen. Like I look at it every day next to a picture of my kids on like a boat in Mallorca because it just keeps everything in perspective for me. Like this is always the goal, right? And so literally the parachute theory is just that, you know, you gotta at some point, like you gotta make a decision and just go, even though it's really scary. So you just jump off the cliff, like you build the parachute. Like you won't hit the ground. Like you may come really, really close, and failure is inevitable in everything, right? Like you're gonna fail. That's great. You got to learn from failure. You can't learn unless you fail. So I'm always of the camp of, well, if I don't try it, I don't know what's possible. So like I need to try it. And at the end of the day, if it's a complete failure, then we just don't do that again. And so when it came to this, I knew with Phil's personality, he's a very analytic person, and that's great. I'm more of like, okay, cool. We can figure this out later. Like I'm like, I just want to do it, and then like I'll figure it out as I go. That's my personality. So we very much clash, and we've had to figure this out over the years of like how to do things. So I knew with this decision, I was going to do it. I was like, I don't care if you don't get on the flight. Like I'm going. I know, because my mom would take us and my dad would just come later and everything was fine. My grandparents are there. My friends are there. Like I've said this out loud to him. Did I not?
Mm-hmm.
Did I not say that? I was like, I don't care if you get on the flight or not. Like I literally don't care.
I remember exactly how defensive I was. Yeah. What about my job?
He was like, and what do you mean? Like, what if I can't go? What if da-da-da? I was like, okay, here are the worst case scenarios, right? Because everything is figure outable. I go, you get fired. Cool. You can come work for me. Or you get another job that's 100% remote. And then we could do this no matter what. And we don't have to have this conversation. I'm like, or you could quit because you realize that this is not the type of environment you want to be working in anyways. So like with like somebody that doesn't support this dream. And then again, you get another job, or you can come and work for me. I don't understand what the problem is. Like this is like in my head. But then I also reframed it for him in a way that I always believe in, and I do with everything, is that I bought those plane tickets because if I didn't, then every single decision would have been different from that day forward. So the fact that we had plane tickets booked for June, and I booked them in September on purpose, was that we had 9 months to make different decisions that were in line with the people that were stepping on a plane with a backpack and 2 kids, no matter what. So then it started to set up from that day, because I bought the tickets, and that's why I always buy my tickets early. I buy them like in October or November, right? The latest. And I say to myself, why I do this, and I do this for a lot of things, is because if I am that person stepping on that plane, what do I need to have set up in order to make this the best summer ever? It's going to have hiccups. We're traveling with kids. Come on. Like everything's going to go to hell. 0 expectations. But what can I set up in my business and my personal life? And what boundaries can I set up now? So I like, you guys know, like I train my clients. I'm like, okay, so meetings in the summer are after 2:30 because I'm not missing my sunset on my beach. Like that's very important to me. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's Andrea loves Trove. You love your salt caves. I love my sunsets. Like it's like, that's my self-care. So doing that leading up to it like helps, right? And so everybody kind of understands the expectation. And then for Phil, it gave him 9 months to like really wrap his head around that he was getting on a plane, and he like didn't like he had a choice, but like he didn't have a choice.
Laughing at this now.
Right? I don't know.
I think the only thing I find suspect here is 2 backpacks and 2 kids. There's no way you're taking 2 backpacks. It's going to be like 5 full-size suitcases and 2 kids.
Wow. Hold on.
2 full-size.
Amanda used to have a blog.
2 carry-ons?
About this.
So we have...
They had one child who's like 2 months old, and you took a baby in a backpack, and you did Asia.
Yeah, so we backpacked Southeast Asia when Filippo was 10 months old, and we just took 2 30-liter backpacks and a baby carrier, and that's it. And we were gone for a month.
Yeah.
We're a little...
That's amazing.
We're
Best
a little, cuckoo. So it was the best trip, honestly.
This is so crazy to me because I am not that person. I make that person with 5 suitcases, and I can't decide out of like the 50,000 outfits I have. I can't decide how to narrow it down to 10. It's so hard.
That's not when you're rock climbing.
And look, and my wife does not carry them. I do. I have to go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth.
That is not true. I do carry my weight, so don't even go there. God. I'm not getting away with that. I need to understand this. Like, one thing I love is that what you said was how you sort of train the clients in the sense that you're building their life around what you want and what you love and what's important to you. And I think a lot of parents struggle with this because they want to focus on the kids and do whatever, society says you should do. And depending on which society you're living in, that could be different. But in our case, we really like going inward and saying, this is what's really important to me. And then building a life around that. And I think that's really cool. And it's something that we can all learn from, including Peter and I, because I feel like we're in a place where we're kind of ping-ponging back, trying to do all the things. And I don't think either one of us are in a joyful state right now. We're enjoying the growth and all those things. But I think we need to come back and look at what do we really want and what do we really want to build. And then from there, start saying yes or no to all the things that don't sort of line up to that end result, to that dream. So I think that's really powerful. But what does a work day look like for you? Like Amanda and Phil still work. So when they go to Portugal for 3 months, it's a cool thing. They don't take 3 months off. They're still working and running a business. So what does that look like for you in Portugal versus home here in Toronto?
Oh, it's very
different. How do you
different.
keep the family and all of that happening at the same time?
So my day and Phil's day are very different. So just because of our my meeting schedule versus his, I'll let you go first.
All right. Okay. So I'll typically get up before anyone else does, just to squeeze in an hour by myself, whether that's a run on the beach or something like that. By the time I get back, the kids are just waking up. We'll have breakfast. Vanna comes down. We'll squeeze out for lunch, walks, whatever we can. Because that first, that 5-hour time difference, you can pack in so much as a family before the day even begins back here, right? So by 2 p.m., that's when most people are starting to, send emails, etc. Probably the time that I guess Amanda will start working or I'll start working. Her schedule usually goes well into the evening, 2 a.m. sometimes. I would usually cut it around 10 p.m. But there's no 2 days the same because it's a constant ebb and flow of, what do the kids need? What meetings do I have? And that schedule, that routine that you're so used to when you're home goes right out the window. I think the thing that I've noticed the most is that I cannot be attached to how it happens. I just have to be in a constant state of this is what it is and this is how we make it work.
That makes complete sense.
Yeah. How does that sound for you?
I'm a night owl. I've always been like that. So I typically do all my work between 8 p.m. and 2 a.m. And then my meetings are typically about, I would say 7:30 at night until 1 in the morning. I also only schedule my meetings on Wednesdays. So every other Wednesday. Last summer, it was every Wednesday I had meetings. And this summer, I've changed it to be every other Wednesday. So I've grouped everybody just to give myself a little bit more time to actually just get work done, because it's really hard when you just have only meetings, right? When are you actually doing the work? And Wednesday and Thursday are my heavy work days. I actually try and take off between Friday to Tuesday every week. And it's because I've built a team and I'm still working. I'm still checking in. I'm still project managing, but I'm not working a traditional 8-hour day or an 8-hour period or chunk. So I try and get as much work. I'll do 12-hour chunks, literally on Wednesday and Thursday. So I'm working about 24. Yeah, I batch work. I will put my headphones on. Nobody can bother me. Don't talk to me. If you talk to me, I snap on you. Because I'm in a, it's I've taken meds. I literally will
She's
not
locked in.
move. Yeah, I won't move from my computer. And I do it that way. So then the rest of the time can be so free, right? So if something comes up, I can handle it. If, I don't know, Phil has a meeting and I need to watch the kids, we're not both glued to the computer. It's also, for me, it is about the kids in the summer. I work so much between September and May. May specifically, I feel I haven't even seen my kids, and that's really difficult. But I know what's on the other side, which is 90 days straight with my kids. They're with me. We do not have childcare. Our childcare is putting the kids to bed and my grandparents sleep at our house, and we go out for dinner or dancing with my cousins and stuff. That is our childcare is not at all during the day. So for us, for me specifically, it's really important to I'll sleep in. So Phil does get up with the kids every day. So I'll usually come downstairs around 8 or 9, only because I've gone to bed at 2 or 3 in the morning. I'll have a coffee, and then we usually just like literally leave. We're like, okay, what are we going to do today? It's crap weather. Let's pick a town. And I usually have like a spreadsheet of just like towns I want to see that we haven't been to.
Of course, you have a spreadsheet.
Of course, I have a spreadsheet. People request this. People request this spreadsheet all the time. I just have like literally like places, restaurants, like because as you guys know, I'm a very like hyperactive person. Like I can't sit still. So when I wake up in the morning, if I don't know what's happening, I will actually like lose my mind. I hate just sitting around. Like if we like go to the beach and we're sitting around for hours, that's fine. But I hate sitting at home and everybody's like, what do you want to do today? What do you want to do today? What do you want to do today? I'm like, go to the spreadsheet, pick a place. Let's just go. Can we just be in motion? Like just go to the spreadsheet. So so then we'll literally like just go pick a town or go to the beach. Obviously, we were a 5-minute walk to the beach and just spend as much time with the kids as possible. And like it's a really enjoyable age right now. So I'm really excited for the summer.
Age, so I agree.
Yeah. Good.
What I'm hearing about, like it's conscious trade-off. So you're making a decision that, you know, these 2 days, for example, are full days and the kids need to be occupied in that time. But I'm trading those 2 days for the rest of the week, the 5 days that I have uninterrupted, undivided attention. So I think that is what it is. It's not necessarily that you're not putting the work in, is that it just isn't a structure that we're used to. So we're used to the 8 hours, 9 to 5 or whatever it is, Monday to Friday. And the truth is it doesn't have to be that way. The point is that the work gets done. And it doesn't matter when it gets done, so long as it gets done. So maybe we need to get away from what we see as what's appropriate working hours and what's, you know, the right way, and look at more what works for our life and our business and our schedule and our team, instead of fitting it in to the way that you want to live. I really love that. I think it's really impressive, and I really am inspired by how you guys are working and living, and I'm hoping that I'm gonna slowly bring to this side of the.
I feel like you are. I mean, the last 2 summers you've done some extensive traveling, so I'm like, I'm impressed. Like since like the first year I met you until now, like even like I think how long are you guys gone for this year? A month?
3 weeks.
3 weeks.
3 weeks.
Always 3 weeks. Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah.
But that's solid. Like a lot of people can't even like think of taking 10 days off, you know, when, especially as business owners. I mean, I know you guys are also still working and stuff, but it's, you know, it's a different, it's that you're literally making a choice. You're like, okay, there's going to be hard moments, but I'm like, there's always going to be hard moments. So why not just do this from a beach instead of from my condo in Toronto?
It was hard. It was the very first time was hard. And the only reason why we did it was because it was a wedding. So, you know, it was a commitment that I had to make. There was no, you know, it was family wedding and it was important. So we had to go. So that was the trigger. And then from then on, it became much easier because not only now did I think about, like, at first the trade-off is, all right, I'm going to take some time off. What do I have to give up? But you don't really think about what you gain from that, right? Because I've never done it before. So I don't know what that feels like, what I'm going to gain. But then you go there and you're like, oh, I gain a lot, right? So then you look forward to it. And I guess what we're trying to do is figure out how to expand that, right?
Okay. Well, Amanda and I need to renew our vows. So what we'll do is we'll invite you. It'll be a 5-week ceremony.
Oh, amazing. 5-week ceremony. Amazing.
I say that.
Yeah.
I'm exactly. That's a great idea. Are you guys going to do that soon, like next summer?
No. By renew our vows, he means actually make our marriage legal, because we realize it actually isn't legal.
Yes. That's a whole other rabbit we can go down.
Okay, that's another
episode for this.
That's a whole other story, and it's ridiculous.
Legal in the Dominican.
Yeah, we're legally married only in the Dominican, not in Canada. It's okay. It's fine. We're common law.
That's fine.
You guys haven't gone to like city hall and just got it done? No.
Peter, why would I do that? That sounds like something.
Feels like, let's just give it done.
It's not the Amanda way. She needs to
Next question, Andrew. Next question.
Fine.
Okay, well, let's go back now. You are so married and have a beautiful family of 2 girls. You're also entrepreneurs. Phil, welcome to the club. You're one of us now.
Thank you.
But you're entrepreneurs, parents, partners, how do you navigate working together while also being married? We get this question all the time.
Yeah,
so I love that you guys
boundaries.
are now officially working together. So
Yeah.
what boundaries or rituals help you to protect both the business and the relationship?
My first and only story on this is like probably like 3 days into us working together. You know when something's fresh, the ideas are flowing. We spent the whole day at the office. We're going back and forth. We get home. Amanda's sitting eating dinner, and I'm just like spewing thoughts on the day and what we can be doing tomorrow. And she's just like looking at me and chewing. And I kind of stop for a moment. And there's no response. And she's like, "I'm eating dinner. Like, we're not talking business right now. Like, not at home." And I was like, "Oh, that's a really good idea." And I haven't crossed that line since. And that space that is protected for us in that time, that's sacred now and it's intentional. Even though back here, you know, the machine is still, you know, going constantly. But I'm just going to write those down and save them for tomorrow.
The work day, the
Now-
official
Yeah.
work day.
We do work at home together. Like there are late nights. Like the other night, like
yeah,
we
yeah.
were both like on the couch, like two couches facing each other, just working. So there are moments where I'm like, but there's a boundary of, do you have capacity to listen to this right now? Because we're both working on separate projects. Like we're not working
Yeah.
on the same things, right? We have two different growth like trajectories in the business. And so he's focused on building new business. I'm focused on like our current load and what we're building there. And so, you know, he's a new entrepreneur, right? He came from
Yeah.
corporate world. So he's very like, he's in the mode of like ideas, yes, to everything. And I'm sitting here being like, I have been in business for 20 plus years. Okay, we don't need to age myself here. And I'm like, this is great. These are great. Love this all. Write them down and then we'll go through them because like we can't do all of this. Like we got to focus, right? And like he
Yeah.
clearly is like just very excited. And I love that because I need that energy because being, as you know, in business for so long, sometimes you just are like, okay, yep. Like I want to
It's
do all that
stale.
too. Yes, you're like pointing at Andrea. I'm like, but it's like but like also I'm like, as much as I am a dreamer and a nomad in my personal life, in my business, I am very structured and very analytic. And I will, like, I go crazy in my brain. So for him, it's funny to watch because he's the like structured analytic person in our personal life, but now in the business, he's just like creative, everything all the time. And I'm like, slow your roll, sir, slow your roll. So for us, it's just about asking. So like, do you, like we use that language? Like, like we'll say like, do you have a listening for this right now? Or do you have capacity for this right now? Or can I talk about this right now? And it's really just asking permission first because we do respect each other's like mental load. Phil being a very hands-on dad too, like he's, you know, making lunches, he's cleaning, he's doing stuff while I'm working. And so if I like am asking him something while he's making lunches, he's probably not wanting to like talk about that, right?
Just
So I
let me
also
make
have
the
to
sandwich,
respect that.
Amanda.
Yeah, that's literally what he
I'm
sounds
busy
like.
focusing on
I'm
the
spreading
tomato
peanut
and the
butter.
mayo. Okay.
Yeah.
It's fun that you say that because I feel like I'm Michelle in this relationship. I'm Peter, definitely Amanda. And I'm always full of ideas and all the time. And I love talking about work. I really love work. And I love what I do. And I'm so excited and energized by it. And Peter comes home. It's like he's in bed and he's ready to go to bed. I'm like, babe, I have another question.
Yeah, she's hilarious that way.
Now,
I keep having to say, this is not a sprint. It is a marathon with some bursts.
Yes.
So just manage your energy. Just nothing is that urgent except for the kids in our life, like our health. Nothing is that urgent. So it can wait. They can wait for your answer. Don't fret about that. And she's
but
just
I
like,
forget. But me, it's
Yeah,
like I don't want to forget. I don't forget that person.
yeah. My thing is I just don't bring my laptop home.
Yeah,
And on the weekends. Yeah. So
although you should sometimes.
I should sometimes, but on the weekends I do not. I don't care what's going on unless the site is broken and I got to go fix it.
Right.
But on the weekends I do not touch it. I do not think about it. I try not to anyway. I'm almost zero. It's just kids, life. That's probably the three things I do on the weekends.
Yeah.
And lawn.
Nice.
It's important though. And I think that like, you know, most entrepreneurs are fed this whole like you can have it all, right? But there are some sacrifices and
Absolutely.
there is an insane amount of discipline to build a successful business, because nobody is coming to get you out of bed. Nobody is coming to check on your work. Nobody is checking your to-do list or your priorities or where you're at. Like, that's all on you. And you have a dedication to what you're building, to yourself, to your family. And so it's setting those boundaries at home for me are really important, because I'm like, we've worked together before. So like way back when, like before we had careers, like we went through like a temp agency and we had to work like side by side at this like data entry thing. Don't ask. It was like, I was like, I was like, we're going to quit this and go travel in like 2 months and then figure out what we want to do with our lives.
To write a book. Can we just all agree on that? You guys need to write a book. Your life is so interesting and you've been through so much together. I really think this is your next passion project.
Andrea, one thing at a time. Okay.
Keep the ideas. Bring the ideas.
I mean, the way I look at it is, I'm like, I want like my home life to be my home life. Like, I want to talk about our relationship, our kids, what our plans are, not what the business plans are. Like, the business can be dealt with tomorrow, And I think that then there's blurred lines. And then like you lose like the romance and the like, just the things that are good for a relationship. And you start to only talk about the business. It's kind of like when you have kids, right? Like, you have to separate, like, go date night and don't talk about your kids. Like, you were a unit before you brought these little people here, and we love them and we adore them and we're obsessed with them. And we also want to like just shut them out half the time because they're crazy. But we also like, we deserve time together to also explore one another. And like, because you're in different phases as you're growing, right? And as women, like, we have hormonal phases, we have identity shifts, men have identity shifts. So like, if you're not putting focus into that in your relationship outside of just the business, like, you're going to lose that. And then what I always say is, I'm always like, I don't want to resent you. I don't want to look at you being like, oh, you're not working as much as I am and I'm not working as much as you. That's why we like don't work in the office together. Like, we work separately, because like I work different than he does. Like, I'll walk by him sometimes. I'm like, what are you doing? I'm like, are you even fucking working? Like, and so like I have to like actually separate, because like I just have a different way of working. And it's like, it's true.
No,
He's laughing. He knows, but it's true.
We're the same way.
Right? So I have to separate myself. Like, as much as I like want like him in my space with me. That's why this office isn't that big, because I'm like, I don't want you in here. I easily could put a desk back here. There's no desk. Desk for Phil. He could go work in the other area.
Very intentional.
It's very intentional. It is.
But I feel like that's your whole life. It's so intentional. Like, everything that you've built and created has been very well thought out and intentionally placed. So I think that's something we can all learn from. If you're not going to choose your life will choose for you, and then you can't complain about it. So that is a great lesson that I think we could all learn from, both in personal and business. And Meda, you've built a reputation around helping businesses find their voice. What advice do you have for entrepreneurs who are trying to build a brand that reflects both who they are and how they want to live? This is like the Toronto mom's reputation.
Yeah, I think honestly, like for me, I'm always like when you look back on your life, like, what do you want to be known for? Like, do you want to be known for the person that was just like sitting in an office all day? Like, oh yeah, I built a business. Great. Awesome. I did a great job. Like, that's not what people are talking about. So I always talk about like, with people when it's to find your own voice, is just be really true to yourself. Like, lean into the things that make you you. Like, I am awkward and weird and quirky, and I just don't hide that. Like, I used to. I'm very loud.
Phil's nodding and smiling.
Phil's nodding. He knows. My story yesterday on my Instagram was last night. Literally, it's so funny. I was so tired. I couldn't think of words. And so like unfortunately I was in the hospital when we were like packing up the condo. So he packed the entire condo for a renovation. So I have no idea where anything is. So he's unpacking it last night and he's just like handing me things being like, what is this cord for? And I'm like, it's for the machine, like for my steaks. And he's like, are you okay? And I'm just like, this is just like how my brain operates.
But and she did like, it for 3 different items.
And then he's like, what's this for? I'm like, the machine. He's like, the immersion blender. And I'm like, yeah. And then he's like,
sound effects.
And And then he's like, what's this? Like, it was like, you know what it is? It's string to like wrap roast. And he's like, so what's this from? Like the around the meat. And he's like, aren't you like, what's wrong?
Yeah.
But you know
I
what?
just
Like,
kind of
that's
moved all the things over. It was like, maybe we do this later.
So the
And
person
so-
who always has words.
I know the person who always has words has no words. So the thing is that like, so I share that online because I'm like, there's somebody out there that's also weird like me. I know it. I know there's one person. If there's one person that responds to this, do you know how many people message me being like, I do this all the time? Like my brain, like I do this all the time. And so for me, I've really like leaned into this whole like, I'm a loud person. That's fine. I'm not for everybody. You're not going to be for everybody. And you don't need to be the loudest in the room if you're not like an extroverted person to be powerful. And so when we realize like what our strengths are, if our strengths are really listening and active listening and like just giving people space, like use that in your brand, use that in your messaging. And once we can actually break that down, it's so much easier to share online specifically when you're really being you.
Yeah.
Like you're not, it's really hard to like put a new persona. Like you have to remember who that person is. Like that's weird to me. I'm like, I meet a lot of people sometimes and I'm like, you're not the same person as you appear online. And like, that must be really difficult to like have to perform all the time. Like that's crazy to me.
Yeah.
So I just truly think that most people are trying to chase something they're not because somebody else has that and that's what they want. So they think they have to be a certain way or do business in a certain way to have that kind of success.
Yeah.
And so the way that I've like kind of grown up and also just operate is that at the end of the day, it's me, right? Like we're born alone, we'll die alone. So like if it and like love Phil, but like eventually, like it's just gonna be, maybe it's just him, maybe it's just me. But like at the end of the day, I'm looking at what am I doing? Is it really, really important to me? Is it going to move the needle in a personal or a business way? And if it's not, I don't need to do it, right? And if I can show up truly as me, I'm showing my kids that it's okay to be silly. I'm showing my kids that it's okay to make mistakes. I'm showing my kids that, you know, you can be strong, but you can also be like sad and vulnerable. And I think that that's really important, especially raising girls, to like stand in the power of their voice. And so that's why I really try and like hone in on this message with people that are like, but I'm shy and I don't want to do that. And I'm like, but what if you just impacted one person? Like what a waste if you don't just like do the thing that you're supposed to do in life, right? Like what's stopping you? It's you. So like get out of your way and just do the damn thing. Like what's the big deal?
Yeah, no, those are really, really like intelligent and prescient words, especially for guys. For men, I think women have a easier time looking at businesses as a lifestyle, and especially, you know, there's a culture out there where if you're not raising millions of dollars in seed funding, you know, round A, round B, and building something that is worth a couple of $100 million or $1 billion, that's nothing. If it's outside of that, it's not worth pursuing. But having a business with your spouse, not worth it. Traveling to somewhere for 3 months and running a business on the side, not worth it. You know, you're not a true entrepreneur or a true mover and shaker if you're not raising cash with AI or crypto. And the thing that I find interesting now as my wife and I are in this journey and listening to you guys is that's not the case. Like, be true to yourself. If you're running a business that you're happy with and it makes money and you're having a good time doing it, and it's not, you know, somewhere in the AI space or crypto, it's okay. Like that is a life worth pursuing, right? And that I think is something that I've learned in the last few years, and it's just really recently where I've accepted the fact that that's actually where I'm supposed to go, as opposed to you know, making rounds with as a venture capitalist and saying, here, listen, let me convince you to invest $100 million in me because I'm gonna create the next crazy crypto and we're gonna exit for like that's not me. And I think that's something that if some people can kind of get out of this conversation, it'd be a good one.
Yeah, I agree. I think a lot of people were, you know, it's the society we're in too. There's a lot being thrown at us every single day online. There's so much information and it's overwhelming people. And so I always like when people are, you know, even toying between, well, what should I launch and what should I do? And I'm like, well, what do you want to do? Like, what would really like, even if it didn't do well, like, what do you want to put out in the world right now? Start with that. And then like you build on that, right? And it gets better. But if you don't start, like nothing's happening.
Exactly.
So like you can't get like stuck in this whole like, well, they do it better than me. Well, do it your way. Like do it better for you. Like don't do it for other people. And I think once we all realize that, you know, there's a lot more to this world than just like money as success. For me, my health is my like success. My relationships are my success. The way I move through the world is my success. My client success is my success. And that for me, like I'm looking at more like what are my clients doing and what are they getting at the end of the day? And like, are we showing up like with integrity and like our full force? Like for me, that's success. This could be millions. This could be $10. To me, it's just like, I wake up every day and I love what I do. Wow. It's crazy and I'm tired all the time. Okay. I'm not like saying I like wake up and I'm like, yay, I love life. I'm actually the opposite of that. I'm like, I don't want to get up today. Coffee. I'm so tired. He literally brings me a coffee to my bed. Like my feet don't touch the ground until Phil brings me a coffee. Because he knows that if I come downstairs without a coffee, like it better be silent and nobody talk to me. So he just has been like, basically like trained to be like, if I bring my wife the coffee, she will be happier.
Probably well.
Yeah.
So what does living life on your own terms mean to you?
Oh, heavy. This is like a pretty, I guess, big and recent revelation for me. Because again, Peter, like you were saying, you know, there's this kind of like rigid idea of what business is and how you need to show up as a man. And so I was very attached to that, like corporate ladder, get this position, that'll be like the end goal. And all started to unravel. I started to disassociate myself from that and look at like, what is my value outside of my career and my job? And a lot of that led me to start thinking about, okay, well, what is wealth for me? And it's, you know, being rich in time, being rich in love, being rich in play. And days are busier than they've ever been, but they are so full. And it's chaotic and I'm loving every second of it.
It's amazing.
So far. Yeah. It's really nice.
I love that. But Ahmed also remind us that success doesn't have to look like hustle 24/7 or following someone else's blueprint. It can be slow mornings, spontaneous decisions, and 3-month summers in Portugal, as long as it's yours by design. This story is proof that the line between work and life doesn't have to divide us. It can connect us, especially when built with intention, clarity, and a shared vision. So, if you've been waiting for permission to rewrite the rules, consider this your sign. Create the life you can't wait to wake up to. Thanks for joining us, guys. It's been so much fun chatting with you, and we hope you'll be back soon.
Thank you.
Bye.
Yeah, this was a lot of fun. Awesome. Thanks. Bye, guys.
Thanks for listening to Live Saranghae with us, Peter and Andrea. If you've enjoyed this episode, leave us a review. Your ratings and reviews help more people like you find our show. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss an episode, and share this podcast with someone you think would love it. Until next time, love yourself, love one another, and love the world.